So this is the workbook that you should have, Year 8 Number Skills, Booklet 1. Okay, so our first topic is called integers. An integer is a whole number, so not a fraction and not a decimal. And we have positive numbers and negative numbers. And we have negative signs in front, so a little dash for numbers that are negative. And positive numbers, we don't write a plus sign. So I'm drawing up here a little number line, and we can see that we start at 0, move towards all the positive numbers up here, and then the negative numbers. All right, some words with negative numbers. Well, descending is one. Loss, if we're talking about money, is another. What about positive numbers? Well, the opposite of those two, we've got ascending or profit. Can you think of any other ones? Some of the places you've seen positive and negative numbers. One that I've seen a lot is temperature. Because we often see temperatures such as 30 degrees in one spot, and then up in the hills in winter it gets pretty cold, so it might be something like -3 degrees. Okay, so let's talk about what is an integer. So an integer is a whole number that can be positive or negative or 0. And like we said, a negative number is going to have a negative sign, a minus sign at the front. So it's a whole number, no fractions and no decimals. Now down here, we've got a little bit of a chart. Integers divided into negative integers, 0, and positive integers. Because 0 is not negative and it's not positive. It just sits there by itself. Okay, let's keep going. So these are some questions for you to do. I'd like you to do them. Stop the video, do the questions, and then come back and check your answers. So we're selecting the integer out of these multiple choices. So remember, integers are not fractions and they're not decimals. So stop the video, do the questions in your workbook, and then start the video to check your answers. Okay, so hopefully you had a good go at that. The first answer is 29. The second answer is -64. Now we're crossing out the numbers that are not integers. So all the decimals and fractions are being crossed out. That leaves us with 9 and 63, -63. And we end up with 0, 18, and -2. Okay, let's keep going. I'm going to get you to skip this page and we'll do it together when I come back to school. All right, now there's a lot on this page, so I want you to listen carefully, stop the video when you need to, and make sure you're writing everything down. Now, what happens when we've got two signs next to each other? So in that first example, we've got 4 plus -9. Well, there's a couple of rules that help us. If we've got a positive and a negative sign next to each other, we draw a circle around them and we write a negative sign instead. So the positive and the negative sign become negative. If we've got two negative signs, we cross them out and we write a positive. Shall we have a go and let's see what we've got? So we cross the plus and the minus, we circle the plus and the minus, and we write a negative sign above, which means we have 4 minus 9. Okay, now 4 minus 9. We might need a number line to help work that out. So I'm going to draw a quick number line up here. I need to start at 4, and I'm going to move 9 places to the left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One more. So that's -5. Okay, next one. I've got 4 minus -9. So I've got 2 signs next to each other. Now that's a bit confusing. So I'm going to circle the 2 signs. I've got 2 negative signs. So I follow this rule here and I write a plus. So it becomes 4 plus 9, which I know from my counting is 13. Now the next one is -3 plus -5. So again, the plus and the minus are confusing. So I'm going to follow this rule. And that becomes -3 minus 5. Now I might need my number line here, starting at -3, moving 5 spots, and I end up at -8. And the last one is -3 minus -5. So there's 2 of those negatives. I'm going to choose this rule, make it a plus. -3 plus 5. -3, moving up 5 in that direction, and I get 2. Okay, now I really want you to have a go at the next couple of questions by yourself. So stop the video, have a go at the questions in the workbook, and then come back and check how you've gone. Okay, so this is the answer for the first 4, and then let's work through the next 2 together. I've got 2 negative signs, so I change that to a plus, which ends up with -6 plus 7 plus 3, which gives me 4. Use the number line if you need it. Now this one has no signs. This is just adding. 15 minus 9 minus 10, which gives me -4. Excellent. Great work. Okay, the next question is we're going to take some words and put them into numbers. So 350 metres above sea level. The word above tells us it's a positive number. So we write plus 350. A loss of 4,800 means it's a negative. Rewinding, so going backwards, would be negative. Below the ground floor is negative. Next question seems to be the same, so we'll leave that. And finally, the last question on this page is to put some in descending order, so from the largest to the smallest. So I'm going to use the number line to help me. So I've got 4, 0, -7, 11, -2. Okay, so now I can see the numbers really clearly. Let's write them down. 11, 4, 0, -2, -7. Okay, excellent work, Year 8. Now, if you're not confident with what we just did there, that's okay. I'm going to go over it again when I come back to school. So it's okay that you've just copied everything down for the moment. We'll go over it again when I see you. What I'd like you to do now is some questions from your textbook, which I've put up on the video. So questions 1, questions 2, and questions 3. I want you to just do as many as you can. So if you just get question 1 done, that's okay. If you get all questions 1, 2, and 3 done, then that's perfect as well. And on this slide, we have our answers. So once you've done the questions, check your answers and make sure that you've done the questions correctly. Okay, now if after all that, you've still got time in the lesson, you can keep working in the workbook. That's completely fine to work ahead. All the work questions are there for you to do. But can you, if you do that, can you send me a direct message just to let me know that you've worked ahead, so then I'll know what to set you for next lesson. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening. I'm very sorry I'm missing our first lessons, but I'm a bit unwell and unfortunately can't be with you at school today. So great job for the first lesson. I will be with you next week. Okay, bye.